It's really
No,
cool.
that's absolutely brilliant. Yeah, I didn't think about how, yeah, you have to crush the grapes, you have to disintegrate them, just like these stories of Dionysus. And yeah, there's this life process of there's this natural thing, but then you know how to cultivate it. You're not forcing it into this box exactly. You're giving it the trellis, the structure on which to grow and to bring it to its full fruition, which is kind of like a human being and good education, you know. And then, yes, and then you bring it to this death process. And at at the end, when you're ready to drink it after a long time, when it's in darkness and it's been fermenting, then then you're ready to drink it. And that itself can bring out transformation in you and the community. You guys have a party. Of course, many writers have and of course, it brings them to destruction too, sometimes after decades of alcoholism. But there is this, many writers talk about this transformation from alcohol. You can talk about psychedelics and other types of, um, what do cognitive scientists call it? It's disruptive processes. Anyway, it's supposedly with human beings and even with AIs, you have to disrupt their logic in some way for them to be creative. So that the logic leads them down this A equals B equals C, and you can't get creative if you're like that. You have to disrupt that process in some way to get creative, and so that wildness into education, into disintegration, into death and transformation after a time. And then that brings out some transformation in the human being and the society. And hopefully, yeah, it's the good type of creativity that you can bring about in a good religious ritual with wine or a good family gathering or a good party, and you don't, someone doesn't get knifed at the end, something like that. So, yeah,
Yeah, or have their head torn off and stuck on a spear.
yeah, that's a bad party.
That's a bad party. Yeah, no,
That's
thank you.
unforgettable, though.
Well, that's true. That's true. They'll write a play about it. Yeah, no, that's great. That's great. I mean, that force that you're talking about that is Dionysus, I think, that force of like, that thing that comes from outside and disrupts us, and that we might think is the devil. We might think is
Yeah,
something trying to stop us. We might think is, oh, it's in our way, but it's coming through and it's bringing change. And if and here, like I'm seeing the imagery of that white tree and the spring of forgetting from the Orphic papyrus,
mm,
and the other stream of memory, the other pond of memory. And when you die and you go into the underworld, when the energy comes through and it's disrupted, when you're crushed and you're grapes and you're in the jar and everything around you is falling apart. Um, if you go towards forgetfulness, you're lost. If the civilization goes into disruption and forgets its civilized nature, forgets the goodness that it had, forgets sort of the thing that led it down that logical journey in the first place, the sort of, oh, it can be good, it can be this. If they forget that, then everything just dissolves. Maybe metaphorically, the wine goes bad. You open it up and it's spoiled. It's vinegar. You can't drink this. You got to get rid of it. Oh, that waste. What a waste. Whereas if you go down and you drink from the pool of memory and you remember what you had originally, you remember
yeah,
that structure that gave birth that needed to be destroyed, but you remember that structure is possible and you're able to kind of butterfly caterpillars, when they go into the cocoon, they turn entirely into soup. There is no structure left inside that cocoon, and out of that soup it rebuilds itself into a butterfly.
oh geez, wow.
you know and we can do the same thing if, when we are in the underworld, we drink from memory and not forgetfulness, you know?
Yeah. Yeah, I
Yeah.
really, really like that myth. That is from the Orphic kind of tradition, the sort of the prophet or Orpheus of the prophet of Dionysus, and he had his own worshippers or his own cult, and they kind of this is from their tradition,
I
or
think
it's
so. Yeah, yeah. There were, so there's sort of, it gets complicated because one, like I would need a week of proper research to
hmm.
spell all this out. And